All right, this morning we are going to make some fluffy pancakes. I promise they're gonna be better than Bisquick, and you probably have all this stuff laying around anyway. So first thing we're gonna start with, a cup of flour. We're gonna have a dry ingredient bowl, and then we're gonna have our liquid measuring cup for anything that is not dry. And you're gonna use a cup of milk. Now, what we're gonna do next is a little bit weird, but this is going to simulate buttermilk. If you don't have it at home, you can obviously use buttermilk if that's something you want, but if you don't have it, this will give you the flavor of buttermilk. So to this milk, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of white vinegar.
And how much milk was that?
A cup of milk, okay? A cup of milk, 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. Now what this is gonna do is kind of curdle the milk. You're gonna set that aside. By the time you're ready to use it, it's gonna be all ready to go. Also, another thing, the reason this is called fluffy pancakes, what happens when you put vinegar and baking soda together? What do you think, Dr. Richmond?
It creates a reaction and...
What's that reaction made of?
Oxygen.
And that makes it do what?
Rise.
Yeah, gives it bubbles, okay? So the bubbles created with this plus the vinegar and the milk are gonna make the pancakes really fluffy too. We're also adding baking powder and baking soda to it, so that, again, gives it more of a fluff factor, okay? So then, to my cup of flour, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of white sugar. All right, 2 tablespoons of sugar. And then we add our fluffing solution. So we have a teaspoon of baking powder, and we have baking soda. So don't get them mixed up because it's different measurements for each. So baking powder, you do a teaspoon of that. And you know that this has a built-in leveling system right there in the lid. Life skill, ding. Okay, then baking soda, you're gonna put half a teaspoon in. Half teaspoon of baking soda. And if someone had opened this box right, we would have a leveling system on there, but that didn't happen. You don't want to use a whisk on dough. That's too thick. This is a good tool to make a batter with. Okay, into our wet mixture, which is now ready, we're going to add an egg and 2 tablespoons of butter, which needs to be melted. How do I do that? The microwave, silly. Okay, also on butter, 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. Labels on butter usually give you exactly the amount of measurement. So you don't have to force butter into a tablespoon to figure out how much you need, how much you're measuring, okay? So I'm just gonna use my measuring cup here to melt this quick. All right, we'll crack the egg in here. And typically I would use a separate bowl. I'm just gonna be careful.
No eggshells.
Yeah, you know, it's good for you. A little extra calcium. All right, butter is melted, mostly. That gets added to here. And then this gets added to here. I'll just do this. Do you know why the first pancake is like the oldest child? Because they never quite turn out right. It's getting warmer. This is a non-stick pan, so I don't have to put anything in it to make sure that my pancakes don't stick. However, a good test to see if your pan is hot enough is to toss a little butter in, okay? You don't want your butter to turn brown, but if you just put a little butter in, see how fast it melts. And this just comes with some practice and experience. Okay, you put a little butter in, and you don't want it to get burned, but if it's getting brown and it's melting, you know that your pan is probably good. This will actually add a nice little crispy layer to your pancake too, if you like that. which I do. I mean, butter's great. Butter's like bacon. If some is good, more is better, right? All right, so this has been preheating for probably 3-4 minutes, maybe 5, I don't know. And you can see the butter's getting a little bit brown right here. I think we're ready to shoot for our first pancake. We don't want it to be an experiment like the first child, so we're gonna preheat the pan. I can say that because I'm the oldest kid. I like to do one at a time for my pancakes, but if you have a griddle, you can obviously do more. Okay, this size of a pancake and this batter you can make about 6. So if you figure on 1 pancake a person, you'll feed 6 people. If you need 3 pancakes each, you're gonna have to make the batter double or triple the size. All right. You're gonna wanna scoop it and flip it. Now a lot of kids try to do this. They scoop it and then they go like that. That's the hard way. Just scoop it and then flip it toward you. You have a lot less, bloop, just like that, okay? A lot less margin for error there. My good friend Cy Neely said, when there's 13 bubbles, that's when you flip the pancake. So if you wanna wait till there's 13, that's fine. My pancake's kind of big, so there's gonna be more than 13. All right, I think we're good. I'm gonna flip it. Ooh, pretty. Maybe could have gone a little bit longer. It's a little blonde,
that smells good.
Okay, and this pancake I think is good on the bottom. Oh, yep, beautiful. Notice how fluffy it is. Now, this is gonna be a really delicious, light and fluffy pancake. It's not gonna be that heavy, dense, cakey pancake like Bisquick would give you, okay? So, throw some homemade maple syrup on the top, and you got yourself a delicious breakfast. Easy with stuff that you have right at home. Enjoy your day.